Your kid hurt himself. We have to give you something. This took place about 2 weeks ago, and I feel that this is the right place for it. A's his awesome cousin, Ian's entitled mum, EK's entitled kid. Now to the story. My cousin is like the sister I never had. She's the most incredible person I've ever had the joy of knowing. We were spending the day together, going around to all different places, shopping, eating, etc. One of her skills is being able to roller skate, which she often does instead of walking. We were going through a park when we stopped for a break and a snack. We see the sun starting to go down. Awesome cousin checks her watch. I'll mention this for later. And we knew we had about an hour and a half until we had to be back home. We got up, she started skating away, when all of a sudden a boy walking next to her suddenly decided to throw himself in front of her. The entitled kid started bawling his eyes out as entitled mother came running to him, shoving us both aside. What did you do to him? He ran right in front of me. I've learnt that awesome cousin is prone to panic attacks, so I hold her hand firmly. Entitled kid stands up, perfectly unharmed. Entitled mother looks at us. We ask if there's anything else. She proceeds to demand something from us as compensation. The entitled kid cheers her on. Awesome cousin takes off her hoodie, a sign she's not feeling so good. Under a long sleeve top, entitled kid spots her watch. He points and yells that he wants it. Awesome cousin pulls her sleeve down, but entitled mother attempts to grab her arm to wrangle it from her. Awesome cousin has told me before that it's worth around £80, so there's no way she was having it. All the while, entitled kid is complaining about wanting it. What happened next was over so quick it's hard to recall. A man sitting nearby strode towards entitled mother and entitled kid. They see him and absolutely bricked it. Me and awesome cousin ran/skated from there, just got outside the park gates when awesome cousin fully broke down on me. This is what happens when people think that they're better than others. Entitled parent does kids test for him. First time poster. I'm American, so berate me if I fuck up the spelling and grammar. Will do. Teacher is T, E, P, E, K. So my teacher teaches a couple of classes, astronomy and earth and space. I'm in astronomy and this is my teacher's story. This kid is in earth and space. Teacher says that entitled kid is not a high achieving student, but gets astounding scores on his tests and such. Our tests are taken online. Teacher was wondering why this kid was doing so well, when he gave no effort to class. Teacher has a fucking master's in technology from college, so she just whipped out her computer and found that the test was being logged onto and taken at an IP address that is not on school property. Entitled parent is taking the test for entitled kid. So my teacher tried to stop him by making him take the test with another teacher without his phone near him. Entitled kid texts his mum the code to the online test. Entitled kid just sits there, waiting for the time to be up, leaves the classroom with the test still open. My teacher is frantically trying to get him back to the classroom. What happens next? Entitled parent comes to pick him up from school. The test is still open. Does entitled kid need mummy to help him in high school? What about college when mummy can't help? Entitled kid has his mother do his test for him, but mummy isn't smart enough to use a VPN and is caught but never punished. Dumb mum upset because the title of the movie her kid had to watch didn't make any sense. I wasn't the one witnessing this sadly, my mother was. My brother, 14, goes to an elementary school in our neighbourhood. It's pretty much a terrible place. My brother isn't any smarter than the average, but compared to almost all the kids there, he's a genius. And with dumb kids come dumb parents. They had one of these parents' meetings where they talk about class trips and the kids' grades, for example. I don't know what they're called, parents' evenings usually. One of the parents, a very loud, confident, entitled one, mum of a hard-working and nice but not smart girl, started complaining about a movie the class watched in history class. They watched such a terrible movie. Someone raped a little girl in it. And the movie has such a weird title. It's a word that doesn't exist. I can't even pronounce it. Everyone else was like WTF, so they made her text her daughter and ask her what the title of the movie was. Guess what it was? The Suffragette. Entitled mother didn't know what suffragette meant. My mum tried her best not to laugh. I think she succeeded, but the whole family laughed to the point of tears when she told us this story. So I guess it was worth sharing here too. I've never seen the movie, but my brother said no one raped a young girl in it. Entitled mother demands a kid with one eye be moved with special needs kids. My son's daycare class has a kid in it who's missing an eye. He has lashes, brows and lids. When I was talking to his mum, my son and him are friends, she said he was born with anophthalmia. He's a completely normal looking kid. It just looks like one eye is always closed and instead of the roundness of an eyeball, behind is flat since it's missing. There's nothing scary There's nothing scary or weird or gross about him. I once watched an entitled mother scream and throw a tantrum at pick-up time because the teachers insisted he wouldn't be moved from the class, as there's nothing wrong with him being there. She swore up and down that the kid was scaring her child, and the daycare teachers should do more to protect her son from people like that, and her child shouldn't have to be around freaks, and he should have to go to school with the special education kids. Her kid seemed fine with this other kid, but his mother was horrified by him interacting with someone who wasn't her idea of normal, and she lost it when the teachers refused to give in to her weird demands about it. The entitled mother pulled her son from that daycare. She told her son not to hang around with freaks like that. The kid with one eye started to cry, and the people at the daycare and his mother tried to comfort him. This happened a week ago, and so far everything is normal, and I haven't heard from the entitled mother since. Entitled mother demands the coach to put her son in basketball match. Before I start telling the story, just to clarify that the parent is entitled and not the kid. A few days ago, we had a basketball tournament in our school. The tournament would be about 7 hours long and would only last for one day. Before the tournament, our coach talked to the whole team about the lineup. Me and my friend were primarily playing most of the matches, and the son of the entitled mother would be benched for a few matches before he would be put in. The son of the entitled mother was perfectly fine with this, and he agreed with the coach. Since this wasn't necessarily a serious tournament, parents could come and cheer the players on. We were setting up the first match, then entitled mother arrives. She was good friends with our coach, so she decided to sit next to him. After a few good minutes of the first match, we were losing, and the coach called a timeout for some substitutions. He substituted 2 guys, but not entitled mother's kid. She then went to our coach and held us up. She was saying how her kid was crucial to the team and could help our team win. Our coach tried to explain to her what he was doing and why he was doing it, but she kept rambling on. Now, entitled mother's son went to his mum and tries to calm her down, explaining that he will be put into the lineup later. A couple of matches passed by, and time entitled mother forces our coach to call timeout and waste all our timeouts. In the third match, entitled mother's kid was finally put on, and she decided to be quiet. But of course, after he was substituting off in the fourth match, the cycle continued again. Eventually, we did get knocked out in the semis, and entitled mother's kid apologised for what her mum did. My aunt, the entitled mother, invents idiot conspiracy theory because her coasting daughter didn't get a full scholarship. So this entitled mother is actually my aunt, and she's always doing rude shit like inviting us halfway across town for holiday meals, then cancelling and leaving us with no food because suddenly migraine every single time. Anyway, a family of mine got a full scholarship to a city school, and so did 2 of entitled mother's kids, but her oldest daughter didn't. Entitled mother made up this absurd conspiracy that the only way her oldest didn't get the full scholarship was because the programme clearly has a quota against students from religious private schools. But that's utter bollocks, because the siblings accepted also went to those schools. Also, it's worth mentioning that entitled mother is loaded from her family's real estate business, so the oldest definitely didn't need a full scholarship to a city college. Entitled mother yells at me for having a British accent. Repost from another sub because someone said it fits here. Background. I work at a supermarket as a cashier. I was helping this guy with the return when this middle-aged woman with her spawn storms up and cuts the line. She points at me and demands that I talk normally. I tell her to get in the back of the line or find another register. I finish with everyone in the line and she walks up to me again. She tells me that my accent is offending her and that I need to talk like normal Americans. Jesus. I tell her that if she doesn't want to hear me talk, then she needs to find a different store. I come into the next morning and see her outside with a protest sign saying that I need to be fired and telling people to tell the manager to fire me. My manager sees what's going on and tells her to get out or he will call the cops. She leaves shouting that they just lost a customer. I hope I never see her again. Karen flips out at a swimming pool. This probably won't be very long or interesting as some of the other stories on this subreddit, but I wanted to share this somewhere. The other day I was at a big swimming pool with my dad and a friend. We decided to go on this big water park area at the back of the pool. It has loads of water guns and stuff like that. Just below it is a rapid river. There are a few water spray gun things above the river that you can spray people with. There were these 2 little girls playing with the guns, spraying each other with them and having fun. They were surprisingly being very respectful of people going past the river, making sure not to splash anyone, unless they clearly wanted to be. Most of the kids who used them just wanted to drown everyone in sight. Everything was fine until we call her Karen. Everything was fine until we will call her Karen. Floats by with her kid. He didn't really do anything wrong, he just kind of sat there the entire time. Anyway, the girls accidentally splashed Karen and her kid as she swam past. This made Karen furious. She starts screaming and shouting at the girls, swearing and flipping them off, calling them names and being very rude. The girls didn't look any older than 9 or 10 and were visibly upset. Karen starts to swim faster and is making her way out of the pool towards the girls. They go over to one of the lifeguards right away and start talking to him, presumably about Karen. I didn't really hear much of it, but I did see Karen come over to the lifeguard and making a big scene about how these two girls nearly drowned my precious angel and they need to be removed immediately. The lifeguard must have somehow gotten Karen to calm down, because later we saw her in the pool again with her kid. I get that it could be annoying when little kids keep splashing you with water guns, but come on. They didn't even mean to, and it was only a tiny bit of water anyway. Hey, thanks for watching to the end. If you want to leave a comment, go ahead. I always see them. I always enjoy engaging with them. You can subscribe if you want, if you choose to. No, there's no pressure to. Or you can click one of the other videos on the screen now. Or you may even have a favourite subreddit that you'd like covered.